You are watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your daily dose of business and technology to educate, empower, and inspire small business owners. Be sure to subscribe to the show today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my Gwinnettians out there in Gwinnett land, all of my friends around the world. It's a beautiful day here in Gwinnett County. Right now it's 55 degrees, going up to a high of 64. And I gotta tell y'all, I was running to get here to do this show this morning. We had our business over breakfast meeting, and of course I'm doing double duty. And normally I'm there talking till 11 o'clock. It's supposed to be over like 9:30, 10. We normally stick around, it's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock sometimes. Today I could not do that because I have a guest today, and I was like, I gotta go. So I'm backing out the door with my purse, and people are still talking to me as I'm trying to get out the door. But anyway, it was a beautiful day. Thank you to everybody who came out down to Peachtree Cafe this morning for our business over breakfast. Nice group too, and I didn't even take a picture. We had such a great conversation. I didn't even get to take a picture of everybody who attended, but thank you for those who are watching or who may watch later for attending this morning. We do the business over breakfast meeting the second Friday of each month. It's a great get together for us to get around and talk. We had three insurance agents and two real estate agents, two marketing people, a communication person, a real estate person, a health and wellness. We had a great group, y'all. We the therapist with 5 degrees. We had a great group. But we had a great time. And so I left about seven of them still talking because I had to back out the door. But anyway, I got a great guest for you today. She is a interior designer. And it's so crazy because I'm the person who really can't design anything. Like my office is probably, and it probably looks cluttered too, but it's like to me, it's my favorite place. And so this is the place that I spend most of my time, and this is the place that I probably put a little bit of love into. However, she would probably come in and totally redesign my office and say this is a mess, but it's my happy place. So we're gonna bring her up because she's gonna be sharing some great information, especially if you are planning to become an interior designer. She's gonna share like what does that look like, how does she get into that space, and also how you can design on a dime. Like I'm not a designer, I suck. But anyway, without further ado, I want to bring up to the stage Flavia. Listen, Zegarra. I think I got it right, and she's a great member of the GWC. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How, everything is going this Friday?
It's going. Look, okay, y'all. Let me point something out real quick. She has flowers. I got a flower, Flavia.
Yeah, right?
I got a flower. It looks pretty. Like the color scheme is pretty. Listen, I have no design talent. I have no curtains to my bedroom window, which is shameful. But I finally put curtains downstairs, and so my my brother comes over. I'm not messy. I just don't have any design sense. And so my brother, on the other hand, and my daughter have great design sense. Everything is pretty
Nice.
in place. That's not me. So my brother comes over. I redo downstairs, new furniture, new curtains, new everything. Right. So my brother comes over, and guess what he says? He said, "Hey, you changed the floor?" And I bust out and started laughing. I changed the furniture, put up curtains. He thought I changed the towel on the floor. It was so funny. I was like, no, I got new furniture and curtains. It was hilarious, Flavia. But anyway, welcome,
Oh,
welcome, welcome
wow.
to that show.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
First of all,
well,
thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So let's give the people a little bit of background about who you are and how you started Camino Designs. And I know we're going to do a little presentation where you're going to share some of the things and the tools that you use. So let's start with who
Yes.
you are and how you started Camino.
Yes. So, I am from Brazil and I live in United States for 25 years now. And I always work for big companies and retail as a designer and a manager. And then, like, 5 years ago, I decide, when I moved to Georgia, actually I decided to open my own office and company, and it's been great since then. And so I have like over 30 years experience.
Wow.
Yes, but my own company, it's only 5 years, and it's been great. Yes.
So what made you? Because when you go out on your own as an entrepreneur, especially after coming from corporate America, that's a guaranteed check. Well, not so much these days. It used to be you had a guaranteed check. You don't know what's going to happen these days. but that's a guaranteed check. So you go from having a guarantee, I'm getting paid every 2 weeks, every salary, every month, bi-weekly, whatever that is. What made you decide to give up that and say, you know what, I want to step out on my own?
Yeah, it's not easy because you actually need to work a little bit more, because you are your own marketing agency, you are your own bookkeeper in the beginning, you are your own, like, you have to handle all the creative part, and you have to handle all the office part too. So in the beginning, the first year is like really hard work, but it pays off, like when you love what you do too. That's very important. I think it's so much worth it to give that step and start your own business, because it is really worth it.
So when you started your business, were you able to go back to companies you had served in corporate America, or did you have to go out and find a whole new slate of new customers? Was there some kind of non-compete clause in your contract with your corporate employer where it say, "Hey, listen, ma'am, if you go out on your own, you can't poach our clients"? How did that work out?
The thing is, like, when my daughter was born, I stopped working in we retail like 11 years ago. So I had that gap, I was just taking care of my daughter, and so I wasn't really working. I was like doing some classes and courses that could help me go back a little bit um, later. But I want to take that time when she was little. So, and then I moved to Georgia, and I didn't know anybody. So, and I am a people person, so I was like, okay, where is the networking group closest to me? you know so I just start going to all the meetings and inviting myself to all the networking groups, and I start meeting people, and that's how everything starts.
So did you move straight to Georgia from Brazil? Like, was Georgia your first stop?
No, 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 because I lived in New Jersey, I lived in New York, I live in Florida, so I I move around a little bit.
Okay, what part of Jersey? Because I grew up. I was born here in Georgia, but I grew up in Jersey. What part of Jersey?
Wayne.
Okay, all right. I know what Wayne is. I lived in Maplewood, so I know exactly
Okay.
what Wayne is. I lived in Maplewood. I
Yes.
lived in West Orange, Maple. My house. I bought my house in Maplewood, so I grew up in Newark, and like you, I moved around. But my mom was a single parent, so her goal was to keep us moving. So she moved us like from Newark to Irvington to East Orange to Orange to
Yes.
West Orange, and then when I
Yes.
got grown, I bought my house in Maplewood. My brother bought his house in Union. So we were like right next door, but in two. I mean, literally, we was probably 7 minutes away in two separate towns. But that's how we ended up. But so
Yeah,
now,
there
how
is
was
so
it
many
making the transition?
Brazilian. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. There's so many
No,
Brazilians.
no, I was just mentioned there is so many good Brazilian food in Newark, like a lot of Brazilian
Oh yeah,
restaurants. Yes.
oh yes. Newark got some great restaurants, man. You want, especially
I used
especially
to
if
go
you go
all
down
the
to the
time.
net. Yeah, if you
Yes.
go down to the net, baby, you're gonna get some good food down there. Cause I used to go down there too, just like let's go to the net. Okay, so
Yes,
nobody
yes.
knows who that is except for if you ever been to Jersey and been in Newark, going down to the net. Um,
Yeah.
and it was a community of people. It was a culture down in the net. Let me just say that it was a culture. It was a community of people, food. It was
Yes.
great. So Newark gets a bad rap, but Newark is a place, and I say this all the time, and I wholeheartedly know this. Because of my mother in Newark, I am the person who I am today. And
Wow.
some people hear me say, "Man, you grew up in Newark." I did, and I claim Newark because it has made me, along with the love of my mom and my
Yes.
brother, the person I am today. So I
That's
can
great.
navigate both sides of the water. I'm just gonna say that. So don't come to me with nonsense because I can be over here, I can be Audrey, or I can be Audrey. So,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I can navigate both sides of the water. Um, so now you decided to start this business after being home with your daughter and raising her. And how was
Yeah.
that like getting back out into back out into the world? Because I've been working from home for 26 years full time. And my daughter called me a hermit a couple of months ago. She's like, you're a hermit. And it was hilarious, and I had to look at myself and say, "Are you a hermit?" Because I've gotten so used to working from home. I do go out and network probably twice, maybe 3 times a month, but that is hard work for me. And so, how was it for you to not only get back out into the world, but you're starting from scratch? Like I've been doing it for 26 years, and it's like, oh my God, how was that part for you?
It's very scary at first because you don't know what's going to happen. But it's just like if you're scared, you just go, don't
Yeah,
think about it because probably you worry or anxious for like the first 10 minutes. And then when you start meeting people, and then you kind of open up and you meet so many great people, like with the networking meetings. And it's just you just have to keep going,
yeah,
and don't stop. Like, is this your dream? Just keep going, and if it's meant to be, it's gonna pay it off.
yeah, yeah. When you started your business, what was the steps to getting started? Because there's somebody who's going to be watching, and they're going to realize they're really talented at making things look beautiful, but they don't know the necessary steps it takes to start an interior design business. And also, is there a way to niche down in that space? So, what's the steps to get started? And should they claim a niche, or can you niche down?
Yes, no, definitely. Like, you can, let's say you love to do, you have very talent to do landscape design. You can do that. If you
Mm,
love plants, or if you love kitchen and bathrooms, let's say, you
yeah,
always like know how to, you think like, oh, this can look good, and this style can look good, this countertop can look good. So you can start doing like kitchens and bathrooms. You can start doing a little bit of everything. You can start maybe just styling, like with little plants and little, you know, uh, pictures and little details and accessories. So you can just be like an interior decorator with just details like curtains. And so it's so many choices. And I think the first thing is to look for like a course or a class that you can learn some basic things. If you really want to start going for like renovations and things like that, you can go to college. Right now is like a 2-year college that you can do, and you can do a lot. But there is like small online courses that you can take to, and you do on your pace, like, on your time, and you can start helping people. And now with the online design, that's the e-design, it's 100% online. So you can help people all over the country.
wow,
Yeah, I
yeah.
start like more in person, like around my area, but I
Hmm.
am transition slowly to 100% virtual. Yes.
Marco Antonio Diaz said, Flavia has plenty of talent. I believe that. I believe that. Look at you getting love on the Good Morning Gwinnett show. All right. Hi. Hi, Marco. Thanks for tuning in. Flavia, it's so cool because I told my daughter, and my daughter's an IT engineer, and so, but she has a great eye for design, and so I don't. I have a great mind for ideas. She has a great
Yes.
mind for design. And I said to her, I said, and this was somebody, listen, take this. I've been giving away ideas all morning. I'm sitting at the breakfast this morning just giving away ideas. Take this idea, you're listening to me. Because she's not going to do it because she has a technical mind, but a design eye. Um, I said, hey, you should think about designing bedrooms for children who have illnesses, right? And we'll call them rooms of hope. Now, this is me, rooms of hope. And all you
Wow.
do is go in and redesign children's bedrooms to give them some hope because a lot of times they're sick and they just want to feel happy. And I said, so this was my idea to her probably about 4 years ago. And we are going to call it rooms of hope. And,
Wow.
she can go around and just focus on nothing but children's bedroom. That was it. You ain't got to focus on nothing else in the house, just redesigning the kids' bedroom because I thought about it um when I was, I'm up, I can't sleep at night, y'all. So I'm up watching TV. This is when I was watching TV. I don't even watch TV anymore. I watch streaming. And I thought about it. I was watching one of the infomercials, and they show like
Uh-huh.
the cancer kids, St. Jude's, and they show how much time they
Yes.
spend in St. Jude's and all this stuff. But eventually they come home. And I said, wouldn't it be nice
Yes.
for so much, especially the kids who don't get it? I said, you just call it rooms of hope and you just go in when they come home from the hospital. They got these beautiful rooms that they can come home to. So that was an idea. But that's me. I can't design nothing, but I can give you some great ideas. So
Wow,
somebody take that and run with it
that's
and hit me
amazing
up.
idea. It is. It is the
Yeah.
no, that would
Um,
be great.
yeah. So now when it comes to finding clients, are you using ads? Are you using networking? Are you using referrals and word of mouth? How are you getting the word out about what you do?
Yes, I do, like social media, of course, you need to be there so people can find you on Google. And also networking, it's been like really good for me because when
Hmm.
people see you first time in person, and then it's good because you do a
Yeah.
project for someone, and then they like I've been doing like sometimes for a whole family, like one brother tell the other and then tell the sister. So like you just keep designing for the
Yeah.
family. And so I think that that's very good, but social media, it's very important too. Like you need to be there and showing at work because it's where people go and trying to find you. Google has been very good too. So yeah, people find me, and then contact me, and then the whole process starts.
So now with Google, if you have a business, you can get a Google profile, a Google business
Yeah.
profile. Are they finding you because your Google profile is really optimized for them to find you? Because I know having anything online is like a science. Like people think I can just pop up a page and that's
Yeah.
it. It's not it, y'all. It's more to it. So is it because your Google profile is optimized? Are you adding pictures to your profile often? Are you putting text?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I think like putting the right words there too, and then you keep changing pictures, like you're moving, the profile around, and then the reviews. That's like really important. If you have good reviews on Google, they gonna show you if people like looking in an area, they gonna show your profile, like so it reviews is very important for business, I think. For and if every business owner just like ask for reviews because it really helps for people to find you.
I want to say this. I was talking about this earlier at the breakfast. What a lot of people don't know is we rely heavily on Google. But what you don't know is that you have to become so much more personal on Google these days. And here's why.
Yeah.
Because understand this, Google is a search engine and it owns all the eyeballs for real. And if you're putting out content that's not leading back to you, you're gonna get lost in Google sauce because Google has said now, and it's an article out there somewhere that they're really becoming competition for a lot of people who are just putting out blank content that does not involve them. So if you're not
Yes.
building a personal brand along with your brand, which means you're in it, like we are in this today,
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
not doing that, you're gonna lose against Google because Google has said, you
Yeah.
know what, we don't need to put out Audrey's content, her written content, because we can write our own because we got one of the best AI writers in the
Yeah.
world. So
Yes.
now written content is oh my god, it's terrible. I can't even get into that whole thing. But anyway, I thought about that because you said you're using, but you said something key. You said I'm switching out images. Those are images that only Flavia has. Google does not have those images. Only Flavia has those. That's a part of a personal brand. So you have to put out good content, but new content that only you have in your hands so that Google
Yeah.
can't say, well, hey, we can put out the same articles that Audrey just put out. No, because that picture's on Audrey's phone. Now I can put it on
Yeah.
your platform, but you can only get it from me. So that's important. And
Yes.
thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
how do you go about pricing? Because pricing is a scary thing for a lot of people. Like people don't know how to price. They underprice. Then they feel pissed off because they feel like they've done a lot of work because they didn't price properly. How do you go about setting your prices?
Yes, like every project is different, of course, because there is different needs, So, but before people used to say, "Oh, interior design, this is like a luxury, or
Mhm.
something that's very expensive, not, like, don't even think about it, let we can do ourselves. And so that's why when people buy things and when they put together, they like, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. you know so
Right.
like the planning before, it's very important, because sometimes you buy something very big, or the sofa doesn't match with the chair, and like,
Yeah.
and everything looks, like you just put it there but
That's my
nothing makes
bedroom.
sense. Yeah. So that's why it is very important. And right now, with the online design, the prices like came down a lot. And the virtual
Mhm.
design, it grew so much, especially after COVID, because
Mhm.
people start doing more things online, buying more things online, learning online, so. And then we use some platforms now that can help us to communicate with the client, so we can do everything online, so the price can be much better now. Normally, like a package for a room, like it can start from like $600, and then you get so much from that, because you get the consultation, you get the floor plan with the layout and space planning, you get the 3D view, you get the list of the furniture with a design board, with the links, so the client can just like click, go straight to the store, so they can purchase online and send it straight to their house. And then they have the whole project to help them to put together in the room. So, and the communication with me too, through the whole process. So for any questions, they can just communicate with me.
Okay, so that sounds intriguing, but let me ask you, is that not like, so that almost feels like it's cheating on you. Like if a client can go use the great tools that are out there, how does that help you as a business person who's trying to go and do the same thing? Like, does that not take away from you as a interior designer?
No, the thing is, like, they don't know how to create the project. So they're gonna
Mm.
be communicating with me through the platform. So I'm gonna design the room for them. So if they
Oh.
go there, let's say they pay the membership for the platform and they go
Mhm.
inside and they try to do things, it's like they doing in their homes. They're not gonna be able to put together everything,
Yeah.
to go and resource like furniture and accessories and put everything there. So it's like I'm giving everything on their hands, so they can just go and buy it, so they know how
Oh.
everything's gonna look in the room before they purchase the furniture.
So you know what? Okay, so when you were talking about being an interior designer, I'm thinking about the fixer upper, right? I'm thinking that once they fix the house, they bring you in to design the house. So are you telling me that we're no longer in the day where the interior designer have to go out to the location and actually design a house? You can do everything online and send it to the client?
Yes,
What? That's
yes, yes,
amazing.
yes, yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow. That,
we can do. Of course,
wow.
they're gonna, if they need like big renovations, that's a tough thing to do. But if they're gonna need a contractor, they're gonna need, like, if they want to paint the house, for example, we can give them all the color consultation, and give them the right color, the right type of paint, and everything, so they can just hire a contractor or a painter, or somebody to come and change the floors. But we can give them all the colors and the design concept that they need, and they just can hire somebody, because some people get so overwhelmed, like,
Mm-hmm.
when they
Me?
have to choose, like anything for the house. And sometimes they have a beautiful sofa and they overwhelm to find a nice pillows to put on the sofa. Like, I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
to put. They go to a store and like tons of colors and textures and
Yeah.
like what I do, what I do. Or
Yeah.
even for a bathroom design or kitchen design, like what color, what countertop, what backsplash, what hardware, what, like, it's so many little details that we can just put together the whole design concept, and they can in all the links, so they can just go and purchase. That's it.
Wow. I'm sitting here thinking that you're literally going out to somebody's house and buying swatches and bringing tiles and, showing them pictures. And, that's what I was thinking. I had no clue. I know you told me you had a tool. So we're gonna pop up the screen so you could talk about the tool. Because I didn't know. I know you said you wanted to
Yeah.
do a presentation on the tool, right? But I thought it was
Yes,
a
yes,
tool that you use, but I didn't know that it took you pretty much not out of the equation, but it made your job so much better. There's no driving around, and there is not all of this stuff and going into, like, oh my God, technology
yeah,
is changing the game. And I just said this: the people that are going to win are going to be the ones that manage the technology. We're
yeah,
going to still need some people, but if you don't understand how to leverage these technologies to help you grow your brand and your business and life, you're going to lose. I'm just keeping it real. Flavia said, you know what, let
yes,
me jump on this right now.
yes,
I'm gonna tell a quick story, and then I'm gonna move on so you can do the presentation.
yes.
One of our members, Flavia, she has 10.7 acres of land, and she came to me and she said, I want to do something with the land. And so we brought in one of our other friends who is an attorney. And we were like, okay, what are we going to do with the land? And so I have a friend who's a real estate developer. So I was in Houston in November, and I text him the address to the land. And I said, look at this land. He looks at the 10.7 acres. He jumps on the phone and called me. We're in the hotel room, all of us laid out on the bed talking about this thing. He goes, Audrey, that land is worth $8 million. We were like, what are you talking about? So he explained to us why it was worth $8 million, right? Of course, we get
Wow.
excited. Like, what in
Yes,
the world? What are we going to do? So we get excited. So I come back home. We laid out our plan for what we're going to do. We talked about what we're going to do. So I put together with AI this beautiful um, image of this subdivision, right? Then I sent it to my developer friend and said, hey, what do you think about this? He said, who did this? I said, AI. He goes, AI did this? I said, AI did that. He said, Audrey, people paid $35,000 for this. Like, he said, people, when it's time to get architectural drawing for things, he said, people paid $35,000 just for the drawing. And I'm like, you mean to tell me I just spent like 7 minutes and people pay me 30? It was hilarious. But I said all that to say, if you don't understand
wow,
the technology, you're
yeah,
going to lose. So speaking of technology, we're going to pop up some of the
yes,
technology that Flavia used to help her clients make informed decision, create beautifully, all on a dime. So let's do that right now. So yay, I'm excited for this. I'm thinking Flavia goes out to the house and do all of those things. So I'm going to put you up
yes.
top, Flavia, so you can. There you go. It's all yours.
Yeah, so okay, so first we have, 15 minutes conversation on the phone with a client when they contact me, because, just to know more about everything and what they need and what kind of project it is. So, and then after that, they answer like this. This is already the platform. So they go in and they sign up for the platform. So it's my communication with them. So, and then they answer like a small questionnaire, like they choose, let's say, oh, I want to do my living room, for example. And then they tell me what they need here, let's say redecorating, and then additional things that they want to talk about it. With this, I can understand what they need, what their style are, so it's like how many people live in a house, how are you going to use the
Nice.
room, so I can understand, the everything that the family need or the person need. And then I want to show you, I'm going to stop this screen. I'm going to jump to
Okay.
another screen
Okay. Go
just
ahead and
to
move that one.
show you. Yeah, one second. Because I want to show you like a dining room project.
Okay. Man, have times changed. That is amazing. So Flavia, do you have a dashboard and then the client has a dashboard too, so you guys communicate through the dashboards and all of that? Is that how that
Yes,
works?
because inside this platform, there is on the project, there is like a chat um,
Oh,
area
okay.
that we can
Mhm.
communicate. And I'm going to show you everything here so you can see. And with this too, I can send them the invoice for them to pay, the fees. So it's everything here. So like for
Mhm.
somebody that wants to be a designer, this is very good too, because it help you on your day, everyday, things that you have to do in the office. So this connects with QuickBooks, for example. So everything goes there. So you don't have to, so it kind of save you a lot of time, at the
Mhm.
office. So for example, here is a dining room, is a floor plan. This client, he
Mhm.
wants like a big round table with 6 chairs. So and then I do the floor plan so they can see. They send me the measurement of the room and pictures of the room so I can put it together for them. And then you have you see, so this is a view from the top, and then we can move
Mhm.
things around.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
yes, so they
So let me
can,
let me ask you this.
yeah.
Do you have to have technical skills to use this software? Because a lot of people aren't technical. They're looking at this and, oh my God, I would love to do this because I have a good design eye, but I'm not a technical person. I don't know how to really maneuver a computer. Do you need like certain technical skills to use the software?
Like on inside the software, they have the learning center. So every tool on the software, you can learn there how to do it.
Okay.
So they teach you how to build the floor plan. They teach you how to use every tool on, and they have a lot of webinars too. So it's a great platform to use. It helped me really a lot. So you see, like,
Okay.
I love this because people can see the space, and they can see how it's going to look. They can see the color that we're going to use on the walls. So that helps a lot. And then after that, you get
Oh, wow.
also the mood board or design board. So that is the
Oh.
furniture that I'm suggesting for them to purchase. So when they have this, they can come down here and they have all the furniture separate, and
Hmm.
they can click here and goes to the website, and they can shop for the
Wow.
furniture. Yes. So,
Okay.
and you see,
Okay.
like
Wait now.
here, yeah,
Okay, so is the furniture built into the platform, or do you use like an Amazon or a furniture company as an affiliate
I
relationship? How does that
use
part
I
work?
use I use different vendors, like any store, but the platform has a tool that you can take outside furniture and put inside there.
Mm,
So, for example, when
nice,
they click here, they have the description, they have the sizes, they have the price, and they have the link to shop.
nice,
So it's super
nice.
easy. It's like, let's say, oh, I know I need furniture for my dining room, and then you receive everything with the link. You just go and purchase, and that's it. And then you go back, of course, when you received all the furniture. Oh, and here too, that what I told you, like, we can talk about just, we can chat about this type of furniture. They can tell me, oh, can you find maybe a gray color, so we can always chat
Oh,
here. Yes. And then when they receive all the furniture, they can come here and okay, I have the floor plan. So let me see how I can position this on the and here is a before and after.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You see, so
Oh,
it
that's
makes
beautiful.
a big difference when um, just a little
Look
touch
at that chandelier.
here.
Okay, so look at the chandelier that was on the left, and look at the one that
Yeah.
she. That's beautiful. Now let me ask. That's beautiful. That's really nice. So let me ask you this. So when you do these design plans for people, right? And you pick out what you think looks amazing. That looks amazing. That looks absolutely amazing. And you think it looks amazing. Do they come back and say, I don't like that. I want something else. And if they do that, is that a part of their fee or do they get like you get two revisions, and then after that first revision, there's a fee? Is it like that?
Yeah, normally we do two revisions, but what happened, like what I like to do, I like to talk to them a lot before I create something.
Hmm.
So I get all the information that I can get about the colors that they like, about the style that they like, about, all that. And also, I love when people send me pictures of things that they love and things that they hate. Because sometimes it's hard for somebody to say, like, I don't know my style. Like, I just don't know what I like. And then I tell them, like, look at some pictures, like Pinterest or a magazine or anything like that, and get things like, oh, I really like this. I really like, because with that, I can really see their style, because sometimes some people cannot communicate in like that way. Like they cannot translate what they like. So
Yeah.
and then with the pictures and getting all the information. So normally when I present, maybe we change just like couple of things, like, oh, I would love, like I said, I love the gray, can the chair be gray, like things like that, and then we adjust the project, the way they like. Yeah, so when they receive the furniture, they know exactly already how it is. Yeah.
How long would you say your onboarding process is? Because I think back to when I first started desktop publishing years. So I'm dating myself. I don't even think they call it desktop publishing anymore. But this is way back um, when back in the day when Microsoft first came out with desktop publishing and PowerPoint. It was way back, and people could not communicate that. Nor did I know how to ask the right questions, and so there was no real onboarding process. Like I need a website, I need a flyer, I need a newsletter, and then I do all of this work, and then they hate it or they didn't like the color, they don't like the font, and that stressed me out because I had never had formal training in that space, and there were no
Uh-huh.
programs like you can just go take. Well, it probably was, but it probably was thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not like YouTube
Yes.
University right now where you can just go to YouTube and learn stuff. So
Yes.
there was no onboarding process for real unless you were a corporation. What does your onboarding process look like for the client? And how long does it take you to complete the onboarding process for them to make sure that you get what they envision? So when you do the final output, they have what they want.
Yeah, so normally we have a discovery call that we talk a little bit, and then we set up like an hour design consultation where we can really sit, if they say on the discovery call, like, oh, I think that will be, something that I want to do. I explain everything, how it works. So we do the first design consultation. So, and then I interview them, like everything that they need and what they like. And so, and then I start the process. So from that, it's about a week to complete one room, for example, like about 7 days. And then after that, if we need to do a revision, it's like a couple of days to adjust anything, and then they start purchasing. And I had people that they had the design, but they like purchase little by little. So, for example,
Mhm.
they got the table and the chairs, and then they wait a little bit to get the chandelier, like depending on how much money they have to spend at that moment.
Mhm.
So you can also do that. You save the project and you just, purchase when you can.
How long does it take you to do a rendering like this? Like you showed me can you go back to the other screen where you had all of the different layouts for me?
Yes. Because for this client, I did the master bedroom and I
Mhm.
did the dining room.
Oh.
So, for example, in the case of the master bedroom, um, was a little bit longer because like they choose some costume furniture and normally takes like 6 weeks about to come, because that is
Mhm.
when you choose the fabric, you choose all the details. So those type of furniture takes a little longer. Normally,
Mhm.
if the vendor had the furniture in stock, it's about like 4 to 5 days to come. So if you like really want to do it, probably within 3 weeks, less than a month, you can have the whole room renovated.
Nice. So I think what I love too is that you design everything for them. You give them the list of products that they need to go
Yes,
buy, and they work directly with the vendor. So that takes you out of the middle because if stuff go wrong, don't call me. You paid the vendor. So that's a
yes,
conversation between you and the vendor, which is also pretty cool because I can just see, you know, and this is something. So I had a rug company, right? And I
mm,
don't know how to make rugs. And I was the person with the vendor. So I was kind of like the middleman between the customer and the vendor, right? And I sold my first two rugs. One, it was like $188. Here's a problem: the rugs were coming from Turkey, and then Turkey had
yeah.
a problem with customs. The people paid me. So I'm having a straight meltdown because now everything is shut down. It was during COVID. Everything is shut
Oh
down
my
and the
gosh,
rugs are
yes.
just stuck. And I'm over here pulling out all of my hair like, oh my God, I can't live like this. And it was such a great
Yes,
concept. But when those rugs were just stuck and there was nothing I could do, and the people had paid me, so they were emailing me about rugs that was
yes.
stuck in Turkey, I was like, oh yeah, this is not for me. That's not you. So that's pretty cool. Now, my question to you is, do you have vendor relationships with the vendors where when you refer their furniture, you get a commission or something on that furniture or that lamp or that rug? Do you get a commission on that?
Yes, normally, not everybody. If we get retail, normally you don't get commission,
Mhm.
but you have like a lot of vendors, they have trade accounts, like just for
Mhm.
designers and architects. So you can have a little discount with them,
Okay.
or
Okay.
a
Cool. So,
commission or something, and even like today with affiliate market, like you can get some discount. Even like on Amazon, you can get, if you have the business account with Amazon, you can get commissions if your client buys something that you
yeah.
suggested. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I love
client
it.
is a good thing that the client, they don't pay anything extra. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
The vendor give you some commission, but the client pay exactly what the price is, like they not paying more
Oh yeah,
for
that's
that.
great then. That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's really good because now you don't have to even go through the whole process of, well, I heard someone say, and this was so funny, but they were selling a dress for like $600 or something on their website. So they had a really upscale boutique, and they had all these beautiful dresses and things, and they were selling it for a lot of money. Well, people were going to Amazon getting the exact same dress for like $80.
Oh my
And it was like,
gosh.
well, why would I pay you 60 for it? Was crazy. And they were like,
Yeah.
and so they were telling people like, look, if you're gonna do that, you gotta find a merch that's exclusive that you can't go to Amazon to pay $80 because they was charging. I saw the dress. The dress was $600, and then on
Wow.
Amazon it was $80, and I was like, what in the what? So that was a
Yeah.
it's just so the fact that when they go to wherever they go, they're gonna get the same price across the board is great because people will jump ship if they
Y-
see it cheaper. Especially today in time, the day where we are, and people are trying to figure out how to do things on a budget and keep some more money in their pocket, they're gonna
Oh,
go with the cheap option. So I
yeah.
like that's across the board. No matter where they see that chair, it's gonna be kind
Yes.
of like the same price, and it's
Yes.
not like, well, Flavia said this thing or her person said this. I'm gonna go buy it over here, and then now it's not a company that you vetted, and the legs on the chair is wrong because you decided. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's not your fault.
Yes.
People will blame you.
No, yes, yes. And then it's people's choice. Yeah.
You know. So
Yes.
what are your plans? Because um I feel like people are gonna be doing more at home designing, which I think is amazing. Like I had my husband and I talked about getting like we always talking about like kind of like I'm always talking about it. He just listened because I'm always the one talking about like cabins and I have this dream of having a cabin by a lake. And in my mind, it's a cabin by the lake, but there's like a fire pit in the and I can't so I can say these things, but to put it together, not so much. But there's a fire pit in the back with a hammock, and it's just like this real outdoorsy. And I hate bugs, so that's go figure, y'all. I don't know.
But you have the vision. You have the
Right.
vision. What you like. So you need just somebody to help you make that vision reality. Yes.
Yes. So my question then becomes, I know you do great design work for interior designing. Do you do great design work for exterior design? Because I feel like people are really leaning more towards outdoors, even if it's in their own backyard. They want to create these oases. And I'll tell you about that when we meet because I have an idea that I'm working on. But they want
Yeah.
to create these places at home where I can step outside my door and feel like I just went somewhere else. Do you design for that, or is that in your plans if you don't?
I can do, normally I can do a design, the back deck or a porch, things like that. I don't do landscaping, I don't do outdoor,
Hmm.
because I think that combine a lot with, with all the plants and everything that need to, make a nice outdoor. But definitely, a porch, a deck, things like that, we have done.
Nice, 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 nice.
Yes.
So, because of technology, is this a easy business to scale? Or do you need to? How would you scale this? Do you plan on scaling? Or do you want to scale it?
I do, because I know some designers that they have, 4 or 5, some people have 11 designers working under them, all doing e-design. So it is, like, and then you teach the designers that work with you how to use the platform. And of
Mhm.
course, you are, the brain and the heart of the company, and then you're gonna be, on every project, but you can have people working for you, and you can have people working for you all over the country too. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to come to your office. It doesn't have, can be everything online. That's the beauty of
Oh,
it.
oh. So okay. All right. So what would you okay. Okay. Now, so I'm working on something. And I'll tell you about it when we meet. It's almost finished, as a matter of fact. Like I literally did like probably I had one thing left to do because last night I couldn't go to bed. I was like, I told my husband I gotta finish it. So I got
Yeah.
in the bed and then I got out the bed and I was like, I gotta finish it. But then when I came in here to finish it, there was a glitch and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta call somebody about the glitch. And it was like 11 o'clock at night, so I couldn't call anybody. But if someone decided they wanted to come and be a part of your team, what would that look
Hmm.
like? What would that look like?
I mean, part of they would need to learn the tool, of course,
Mhm.
and they need to have an eye for design. you know.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be somebody that knows how to put colors together, know how to, work with textures. And a lot of people have that talent naturally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need like to go to, 4 years school to know that. So they have that talent, and then they learn how to use the tool, and then they can, definitely be part of the team.
Okay. All right. So how can people, this was amazing. She was excited. I was excited too because, StreamYard, shout out to StreamYard, and I'm not an affiliate for them. I think I might be though. But StreamYard has made so many and created so many great tools inside of this tool. So to pop this presentation up was a piece of cake. I've done presentations before where I'm on one screen and I can't see this screen. It was crazy. So to pop this up and I can stay on screen because
Yeah, that
Derek
was
and I used to do it.
awesome.
Yeah, and we used to do a show called Good Morning Georgia, but this Georgia, the presentation screen would be on one screen that I couldn't see, and so I would have to figure out how to get back. Anyway, shout out to StreamYard for doing a great job on putting this all together. So
Yes.
it's really, really easy. Because I'm sitting here saying, man, this is not how we used to do it. And I'm excited about doing more of these type of blueprints because this is the business blueprint for Good Morning Gwinnett. Yeah, I know I didn't change it. I didn't change the intro yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there because I normally don't do shows on Friday, but I'm doing shows on Fridays now, and it's called the Business Blueprint.
Nice.
Good Morning Gwinnett presents the Business Blueprint. That's what we're doing, and Flavia has
Oh,
given you a
nice.
great blueprint. She's even offered you an opportunity if you have an eye for design to be a part of her expanded team. So you guys can go out there and help homeowners and renters and college students create these beautiful environments where they live and they can be happy and cheerful all at the same time. So how can they reach out to you, Flavia?
Okay, Instagram, it's very good. It's at Camino Design Interiors. They can just send me a direct message there. They can see more projects. I'm always posting before and afters, so they can check over there. I think that's the easiest way to.
Interiors have a S on the end or just
Yeah, it's Camino Design Interiors.
interiors. Okay. At Camino. All right, we're gonna pop that up on the screen. So now moving forward, what's your 5-year goal?
Oh, it's to expand that, and having designers working with me and having that, because the main thing is that mission to help people, because our home, it is our, where we recharge the batteries, so you want to come to a home that, oh, I love my house, I feel so good.
Yeah.
You don't want to come, oh, I hate this kitchen, oh, I hate the way this look, so it's to help people transform, because you really transform your life when you feel better at home.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Any
Oh, I
advice to
want to
those
share
who
one thing with you,
Yes,
very
yes,
quick.
yes.
So
Okay.
for the second time, we got the best of Gwinnett.
Nice. Shout out to Partnership Gwinnett and Gwinnett Chamber, the best of
Yes,
Gwinnett. Listen, because success lives here. That's our
yes,
slogan, y'all.
yes.
That's not me being funny. That's the Gwinnett County slogan. Success live here. Congratulations,
Thank,
congratulations.
thank you.
2024, Best of Gwinnett. That's what,
Yes,
listen, it's so nice to show appreciation when we have great people doing great things in our county and our friends around the world. You're watching us from all over the place. We appreciate you watching. I hope that Flavia was able to give you some great information on starting your new career, maybe possibly even reaching out to her and becoming a part of her team. If you have a design eye, I don't have a design eye. I have this mind that can talk about these things, but my eye that
you
make it
can be
look
the
pretty,
advice.
man. I don't.
Yeah. You give
I don't
good
have that eye,
advice.
but I do have ideas. But Flavia, thank you so much for just being here with us today. I really
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
This was
Thank
exciting. I
you.
really enjoyed it, and
Thank you
I'm actually
so
looking
much.
forward to doing more of these. You're very welcome. So listen, reach out to Flavia. Flavia, listen, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And so we have what do we got coming up next? Well, we got Meals of Money next month. So if you can make it out, make it out. By the way,
Yes.
and this I don't know, I can't put this. Well, maybe I can. We have a 16-week options trading training coming up. I have not put it out to the general public yet, but I will send you an email about that. And we had our
Sure.
speaker from
Please
last week
do.
is offering our members, the GWC members, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful discount for her training. And she's a multimillionaire who teaches people how to trade options. So I know the stock market looks a little scary right now, but we got a tweet yesterday say buy now. So hey, listen, you might want to buy now. Anyway, I'm being facetious. Thank you again, and I
Thank
really
you.
wish you nothing
Thank
but the
you
best.
so
I hope to
much.
see you. Hope you get the 2025, Gwinnett Award, showing some love for what you do. Keep making people beautiful and creating the places where they feel comfortable and happy when they go home.
Thank you. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome. All right, guys, I gotta go, but before I go, I want to make sure that you know how to get this show. If you miss any episode of the show, be sure to go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there. And do me a favor, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the show, share it with a couple of friends, because when you subscribe and like and all that good stuff, it helps me in the algorithms, and it helps people help us get found more and help us share more information. Somebody is looking to become an interior designer. Somebody that you know has a good eye for design. They need to hear Flavia's story because it may inspire them to take the next step to make that happen. Here's a good thing. She's looking to expand and grow her team. So hey, you learn from the best. You see, she's the best. Gwinnett said it. I didn't say it. Gwinnett said it, but as you can see, she gave a great presentation. So great work deserve great rewards, and you could be a part of an award-winning team by watching this video and sharing it with somebody who can do the same thing. I'll be back again on Monday, not on video, but on audio. So be sure to go to goodmorninggwinnett.com, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
You've been watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Cooney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the show today and share it with your friends by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.